While we remain standing, can you please give us the builder's anthem?
Stand up, oh great builders, arise to do your job. Stand up and build a nation with commitment for a well-built environment. With dedication to our service, we must arise and build. Help us, oh God, the chief builder, and to promote our cause.
Thank you. For the opening prayer, can we have the second stanza of the anthem as the opening prayer? O God of creation, direct our noble cause. God our lead us right. Help I use the truth to know. In honesty to grow and live in just and truth. Great lofty height attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you very much. May we be seated now while we proceed immediately with the program. I'll be joined in the anchoring of this session of the program by my colleague, Builder Ese Rogene Stevenson.
Good morning, everybody. We would like to say a warm welcome and really apologize for keeping everyone seated for so long. But before we go forward, it's been a year we've all seen ourselves, if I'm not mistaken. Some people have not seen them for the past 12 months. Kindly look at someone and say, hello this morning, I hope you're doing well. Please, with a smile, we need everybody to be happy here. We're not mourning. So look at your neighbor again, the next person by your right or by your left, and say, good morning this morning. Hope you're doing really, really good. And if by any chance you're sitting by someone you don't know their name, kindly introduce yourself. Me, I am Eserogene Odushola Stevenson. I'm a Bolanle Abodurin. So anyone you decide to remember. So look at someone and ask, what's your name? Because this world is a small place. We all see ourselves here. We might see you tomorrow. I can see you in London. I can see you in Kenya. Yes. And I would like to interact. So have we all done that? So we're going to do a quick test now to see if we really did. Sir, please, what is your neighbor's name, sir?
Beda Borokini.
Ah, are you sure you knew him before? I have to try with another person. Did you know her before? Okay.
Part of what we do here is networking, so it's important to network.
Builder Mrs. Nike Said.
Okay. She's Builder Mrs. Adenike Said, past president of the Association of Professional Women Builders. So you are sitting with Timber and Caliber just by your side. So thank you, everybody. We have our distinguished, every one of us are important. It's important to know that you are important, I am important, and everyone seated is important. So a round of applause for ourselves. For me, I'll be clapping for myself right here. But in our midst, we have some people that we have specially invited to be in our midst to grace this occasion and to make it a very successful and colorful one. And we would like to honor them by mentioning their name. And please, when we do, let's give them a round of applause. The first person we have here with us is Honorable John Obafemi, who is representing Otumbagbinga Daniel, FNSE, FNIOB, distinguished senator, and the former governor of
Can we give him a round of applause, please?
Please, a round of applause. He's duly represented here
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, and
you
welcome
for
once more.
coming,
We
sir.
apologize for coming late. We have Builder B.O. Odutoye, Lagos State Development Property Corporation, DGM. Please, a round of applause for
Thank
him.
you very
Welcome,
much, sir.
We have Barrister Oladipo Okpesheyi, OFRN, SAN, FCIARS, FNIM, FCTI, and he's our keynote speaker. Please,
Can we give him a round of applause, please?
Welcome, sir. And we also have some of our invited guests and our speakers, QS Wasiu A. O. Akewu Shola. A round of applause for him. Former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing. Please, another round of applause for that. We have Professor Ikmont Adenuola Kolo-Esho. Welcome, ma. Please, a round of applause. We'll be going into, as we get in, as more of our distinguished guests arrive, we'll be introducing them.
Also, here in our presence is Olatubosun Okpesheyi, who is also a keynote speaker. Can we please give him a round of applause? We also have Dr. Jide Babatunde, the Special Assistant to the Governor on GIS, Geographic Information System. Can you please give him a round of applause? Special Advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on GIS.
We also have Engineer O.O. Shotire, the PS Ministry of Physical Planning. A round of applause for him. Welcome, sir.
Okay, so while we receive information about dignitaries arriving, we'll keep updating the House. I don't know.
We would like the chairman of NIOB to start preparing. We'll soon call him to give his speech. Just give us a minute, please. Thank you.
Yes, so while those processes are ongoing, can you give us a light music this year?
would like to first of all apologize because me and my co-speaker, let's call ourselves novice and learning curve, we did not follow due protocol. And the first error in doing something right is admitting our mistake. So please, I would like us to give a round of applause for our honorable minister, who is one of our most distinguished guests seated right here now. We have Dr. Buda Olumide Olayinka Abiodun, the Honorable Commissioner for Minister of Physical Planning and Urban Development of
Please,
Lagos
can we
State.
give a round of applause for the Commissioner who has taken time to be here and be patient with us all this while. Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
Also, our distinguished visitor, we have Buda Olushe Sondaini, the Chairman, Igbogbo Bayeku Local Government. Welcome, sir, and God bless. On that note, we would like to kickstart the program by calling the chairman, Nigerian Institute of Building, Buda Lucky Isaname, to come and give his opening speech. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause to encourage him as come.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me use this opportunity to apologize to our guests for starting the program late, sir. We are very sorry. We had some hiccup, and by now we think we are okay, and we are good to go. I wouldn't want us to spend more time on the protocol of introduction any longer. I'll just go straight to the reading of the chairman's opening address. Once again, I apologize for starting this program late. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to stand before you today to address an issue of great importance: safe and sustainable building production management in Nigeria. As we all know, the construction industry plays a vital role in the development and growth of our nation. However, it is imperative that we focus not only on the speed and essence of construction, but also on the safety and sustainability of our built environment. Nigeria, like many other countries, has witnessed a rapid increase in urbanizations and population's growth. This has led to a surge in construction activities across the nation. While the development is undoubtedly a positive sign of progress, it also poses significant challenges in terms of ensuring safe and sustainable building practice. First and foremost, the safety of our citizens must be our top priority. Unfortunately, we have witnessed numerous incidents of building collapse, resulting in the loss of life and properties. These tragic events are often attributed to poor construction practice, inadequate supervision, and the use of sustainable materials. It is our collective responsibility to address these issues and implement strenuous safety measures to prevent such disaster from occurring in the future. Furthermore, sustainability is another critical aspect that we must consider when it comes to building production management. As a nation, we are facing environmental challenges such as climate change, deforestation, and resource depletion. It is vital that we adopt sustainable construction practice that minimize the negative impacts on our environment and promote energy efficiencies. Sustainable building production management involve incorporating eco-friendly materials, utilizing renewable energy sources, and implementing waste management strategy. By doing so, we can not only reduce our carbon footprint, but also create reality and more comfortable living space for our citizens. To achieve safe and sustainable building production management in Nigeria, collaborations and cooperation among all stakeholders are essentials. This includes government bodies, construction companies, architects, engineers, suppliers, and even the general public. We must work together to establish and enforce strict building code and regulations, promote trainings and education on safe construction practice, and encourage the use of sustainable building and technologies. The importance of builders on site cannot be overemphasized, because as the production manager, they are well equipped to carry out the process of construction management, which includes a lot of scientific method of operations. We have carefully chosen this topic as a follow-up to the last year's conference that was a great success. Strengthening on this success, we intend to educate the populace on the importance of engaging a professional builder to execute your construction program, implement and enforce the law, Lagos State Physical Development Planning Law 2019, as it concerns the physical planning development in Lagos State. That is why the theme of this year's conference and AGM is Safe and Sustainable Building Production Management in Nigeria. The theme is how to put things in right perspective, and to extreme, how far the neglect of laws has affected construction in Lagos State. The speakers are experts. The speakers we are expecting to hear from are senior builders who will tell us about the functions that is expected of a professional builder on site in terms of ethics and the law and art that spells out all its functions. They will be telling us also what the improvements it will bring if the laws are implemented as stated in the regulations and law of physical planning. They will also educate us on the implications and right of clients for not using professionals on their projects, and the role of government regulatory agencies to enforce and prosecute offenders that violate the law. Hence, the collaboration with Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development to make sure that the Lagos State Physical Development Planning Law 2019 is fully enforced to mitigate against building collapse in the state, among other negative benefits on non-usage of the law. I am confident that with a collaborative effort, we can transform Nigerian construction industry into one that is safe, sustainable, and a model for other nations to follow. Let us commit ourselves to this cause and strength towards a future where every building in Nigeria stand tall, strong, and environmental responsible. Once again, I welcome everyone seated, and I thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Can we please give one more round of applause to the chairman? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So while he was giving his address, some of our dignitaries walked in. And they include the national president of Nigerian Institute of Building in the person of Builder Edatin Ewa, a fellow of the institute. Can we please give him a round of applause? Thank you, President, for coming. Also, here present is a past president of the institute in person of Builder Kunle Awowodu. He's also here present. Can we please give him a round of applause?
Also in our midst, we have the Builder Honorable Bimbo Kolade, the first Vice President of the Nigerian Institute of Building. You're welcome, sir. We also have Builder Mrs. Said Adenike, the former National President, Association of Professional Women Builder in Nigeria. I know we jokingly mentioned her name, but a prophet must be honored in their home, no matter what. We also have Builder Ibrahim Olusegun, a director of the Lagos State Minister of Housing in our midst. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, so in continuing with the program, we're going to humbly invite the national president of Nigerian Institute of Building to give us his opening address. Please, can we give a round of applause to him while he walks to the stage? Thank you, President.
Good morning, all. When I get to places so that I will be very careful not to make mistakes, especially starting from the protocol. I want to say that let me start on existing protocol so that I will make no mistakes. This address is from the national president, that's myself, Alderson Ewa, a fellow of Nigerian Institute of Building, and at the 32nd Lagos Builders Conference holding here in this podium. I am delighted to be part of this conference in my capacity as the president of Nigerian Institute of Building, NIOB, and I commend the Lagos State chapter for being the first to organize AGM since I was elected the president of Nigerian Institute of Building. The theme of the event is Safe and Sustainable Building Production Management in Nigeria. It's apt to create a comfortable and healthy living spaces, reduce energy consumption, decrease environmental pollution, improve the economic viability of building projects, and contribute to overall sustainable development of Nigeria. Hence, an event like this that will help expose participants to techniques of enhancing sustainable building production management should be applauded. Building production management is the organization and management of the plants, equipment, materials, and labor involved in the construction of a building, while at the same time complying with all codes, rules, and contractual stipulations, and also minimizing the negative impact of development activities on the environmental and the society. A builder is well equipped to sustainably manage the 5 M's of building production management, which are money, manpower, materials, machinery, and methods. Sustainable building management is not only about reducing environmental impacts, but includes creating healthy, comfortable, and productive spaces for occupants. Only a builder can effectively execute building production management to satisfy the social, economic, and environmental requirements of human needs. Sustainable building production is the prerogative of builders. During building production, he utilizes professional practice tools, including documents prepared and signed by the registered builder. The builder must bear in mind at any point in time the social, economic, and environmental implications of his construction program, project quality management plan, project health and safety plan, and his production methodology. These are the documents that we are proud of to be called builders, because we use it to make sure things work well. The Lagos State chapter of NRB have continued to blaze the trail in the building industry, tenaciously holding forth to all the tenets of the Nigerian Institute of Building, which include: 1, promoting the science, technology, management, and practice of building profession in all its aspects and ramifications. 2, establishing and maintaining a high standard of competence and conduct of those engaged or about to be engaged in the building profession. 3, providing a forum for meeting and discussing matters of mutual interest to builders, promoting and stimulating improvement of technical and general knowledge of persons engaged or undergoing training to be engaged in building profession. 5, making available information on matters affecting the building profession in Nigeria and abroad. Promoting an understanding of the building profession amongst members of public and conferring with all professionals and other bodies within the building industry, and acting as a sole authority in the Federation of Nigeria with regards to all matters affecting the profession. Acting as a body to which the government or other official or unofficial authorities or organizations in Nigeria can seek advice, assistance, or expression of views on any subject of concern or interest to the building profession in Nigeria. 8, pursuing the enactment of building regulations, codes, and standards, and their implementation. Building a strong membership base that is competent and proud of the building profession at all times. While looking forward to the rich communique that will be developed from this event, participants are advised to be focused, open-minded, sensitive, ready to learn, socialize, and network with colleagues so that you can adequately utilize various opportunities that will be presented through this platform. I wish you all a rewarding deliberation. God bless the federal government of Nigeria. God bless Nigerian Institute of Building. Also, God bless the Nigerian Institute of Building Lagos chapter. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Can we please give him a round of applause? Next on the program will be keynote speaker. We expect the keynote speaker to give us a speech in person of Oladapo Okpeseyi, a Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Please, if he's around. Okay, please, sir.
But before we do that, we would like to give our appreciation to our sponsors. Without them, we would have this conference, but it would not be as interesting as this. So we would like to, please, let's give them a round of applause. We have Dangote Cement PLC with us. We have Ceramical Trading Limited. We have PPA Alan Tech, Vitapor Nigeria Limited, VJS Gas System Limited, Total Management Cost Limited, Jovocon, Fincreed Global Company, Delaware, Iskit Limited Cap, Department of Building Yabatek,
Sa Expressions, Ministry of Works, Omolewa Babalola, Samthef Construction Company Limited, Ministry of Housing, Silong Icon, Akin Akumbi, Nigeria Limited, Dr. Samson, Builder Samson Shoebi, Power Tools, Reed Matuhab Project Services Limited, and Rio Habilis Construction Limited.
Please, let's give them a round of applause for supporting us dearly in this year's 32nd Lagos Builders Conference. Now we would like to call the keynote speaker to please come and grace us with his wonderful speech prepared for today. Welcome, sir. Please, a round of applause to support him as he comes up.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I know that you are all builders and you work at the site, and that's why there's no podium here for me to address you from. But that's okay. We would start imbibing the culture of the builders. So we'll have to do it the way we do it on site. The chairman of the occasion, distinguished guests, the president of both national and the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Builders, distinguished guests, I want to hide under the same issue that I take the protocol as duly been established. I actually have a paper prepared, and I will just speak to it because I've seen that I have just 15 minutes or thereabout to say one or two things. One is that I think it is beyond doubt that the Institute has a legal backing. And the latest is the laws of the Federation, Cap B13. So that clears that, which goes to the council. I have also tried to appreciate Builder Bajabi Amila, who has been so tenacious in getting me up and on this assignment. But the short history I have here for the builders is basically from 1834, meaning that before Nigeria, there was the Builders Institute and the Institute of Building, and then the Builders body. But in Nigeria, we have the several laws. But my talk today will basically focus on who is a builder and what are the liabilities attached to being a builder. And this I will draw from the enormous authority and powers given to builders by the same law that has established the builders, and by necessary implication, the Institute of Building in Nigeria. I have given here in my speech different definitions of a builder. One from the Black's Law Dictionary, Another one from the Judicial Dictionary of the Nigerian Laws, Volume 1 by the learned author, Deji Sasegwon. I've also gone to now give the definition of builders as it is in the Act, which says a builder is a person who has received an approved standard of professional training and practice in building and found competent after due examination or holds a qualification acceptable to the council. What this means basically is that this is a builder, but who are those who qualify you to be a builder? Do they have duties to perform? Of course they have duties. That is why even in the definition by the Act, it says it clearly that who have been a person who has received an approved standard of professional training and practice in building and found competent. So the council and the institute must know that the nation and the Act is placing a very, very heavy burden on their shoulders in getting members registered. This responsibility, this duty should not be lost at all because there are liabilities attached. So I moved away from there, and I realized that in tracing the history of builders in Nigeria, or buildings and builders in Nigeria, it started from the story building in Badagry by Reverend Henry Tansen. And I was agitated. I was agitated because I know that the academies of the old in the Greek city-states and so on never had a formal school. That's why they're called academy. And in Africa, the way professionals were groomed, you had families who have been doing something for centuries. So for those who are building in Africa, before the advent of the builders as we know them today, were families who were known to build either the roof or the walls. You have families who are blacksmiths. You have families who are into different crafts. This group of builders have not been recognized. And I felt that it is the duty of this body to try and go back into history and see how we can recognize those builders, our forefathers and forebearers, so that we do not behave like those who say everything African is bad, everything European is good. The Benin Moat, which is the longest in the whole world, even longer than the Wall of China, was built by Africans, by our forefathers. And all the palaces you have across the country, the original buildings there were built by our forefathers. And these were builders. And I think I'm challenging the House that they should go back into history and bring our forefathers into their history, into their reckoning, so that they can project the African image and African professionals. Then I moved on to see that the council has a right, having been so empowered by law, to recognize and set up the institute. And I noticed that in the composition of the council, the institute is the only one that has 5 representatives on board of the council. Even all others who are members of the council are supposed to be builders. And so builders and the Building Institute are supposed to be a pressure group to make sure that from the chairman to every other person that is on that council are builders. It is only then they will understand what you feel and how to find solutions to the building problems in Nigeria. So the association is on very good footing, having taken its roots from Section 40 of the Constitution, which allows for professionals to come together and form an association. So your association is well rooted, and I can see that you have a constitution, and from the headquarters, and then who have devolved powers to the branches. So the 32nd society that we have, 32nd anniversary or conference that we're having today is basically for me as a lawyer. For me as a lawyer, not being a builder, is to speak from the angle of a lawyer and let the builders fill in the gaps. So as a lawyer, I have given you a definition of who a builder is. But I also want to say something. If you see the act itself, it has what we lawyers call long title and short title. The short title is the registration council, is the registration, is the Builders Registration Act. That is the short title. But the long title is an act to establish the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria as a body corporate with the general duty of determining who shall be the builders and the standard of knowledge and skill to be attained by the person to be registered as a builder. You see that from this long title again and the definition of a builder, the responsibility is mounting by law on the council to whoever is to be admitted as a builder. So for the council to do this, it requires certain basic standards. And these basic standards are not in the law, but the law expects the council to set them. And the only one that is so obvious is that a builder must have attained certain skills. Either you are an architect, you are an environmentalist. In all those related sciences to the building science, a builder must have acquired one. But the act has gone further to say that there must be apprenticeship in some instances, and there must be a certificate. That means you have been with a boss who himself is a builder, who is capable and competent to issue a certificate that you are discharged, you have done well, and I can safely put my signature behind your name to recommend you as a builder. So our appointing or admitting authority should know that this is very important, because when liability starts to arise, it might be necessary to trace from that builder to those who recommended him and the council. So the duties of the council are stated in Article 1, Sub 2 of the Act, but I'll just read some of them briefly. Determining who are builders for the purpose of this Act. Determining what standard of knowledge and skill are to be attained by persons seeking to become registered as builders, and reviewing those standards from time to time as circumstances may permit. We are now in a digital age, so things are changing fast. And the Act expects that the council will also be adjusting to these things. Securing, in accordance with the provision of this Act, establishment and maintenance of a register of persons entitled to practice as builders, and the publication from time to time of the list of persons. Regulating and controlling the practice of building technology profession in all its aspects and ramifications, and performing such other functions as conferred on it by the Act. We safely proceed that the duty of the council to determine who can be a builder and accordingly set the ground norm of membership of the Institute by Section 2 of the Act. It is submitted that the long title of the Building Act speaks directly to the theme and topic of the keynote address, that is, safe and sustainable building production management in Nigeria. This respectfully is speaking directly to the quality and skill of you members. As builders, you all know that there are two very important factors for safe and sustainable building production management in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. These factors are the builder and the materials. You are the builders, and obviously the more important factor of the two. The builder has to be trained, acquired experience, knowledge, and skills to be a builder. The Act even provides for apprenticeship and certificate of proficiency before an applicant is admitted as a builder. The society and its laws therefore expect the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria to be honest, trustworthy in its admission policy of members. The builder has the liability, and he or she is expected to have acquired sufficient knowledge, skills, and experience to be in a position to identify substandard materials and protect the integrity of the project, and if any, reject materials that are substandard or unreliable at the site where he or she is the builder. The builder who supervised the collapsed building, to that extent, he has failed the institute, and the institute has failed the nation for admitting such a person as a member of the institute. The nation which by law established your institute in Nigeria has placed this burden on the council and the institute, and it is a very huge responsibility. I have referred to some great builders in this article, in this address. Anthony Weka, Anthony Adebayo, and Funsho Falade of the University of Lagos, I guess as at then, when they wrote the article, titled National Building Code as relates to material specification and quality control, which says, and I agree, that building code provides minimum standards to safeguard life and property and further guarantee public health and safety for different building types. They went further to identify different materials for building, but states categorically that the emphasis is also laid on human aspect as aspect of the quality control for best practices and sustenance of industry. To me, therefore, and I agree with the provisions of the Act, is in this regard that the human element is central to safe and sustainable building production management in Nigeria, and that is you, the builders. May I just digress a bit? The Ikoyi building collapse, the coroner's inquest into the findings of the 21-story building says that it was due to negligence of agencies responsible for approval and supervision. Subtechnical report says collapse was due to stress on the ground floor pillars. This was notoriously reported in different papers. But as builders, we will all agree that the human element in the project management schedule was largely responsible for the collapse. If we adjudge the builder involved in the project have therefore failed the nation, would that be a fair conclusion? You experts will know better. The collapse is avoidable loss of property, lives, and health. The sad story is that it repeats itself all the time in Lagos and now in Abuja, where the buildings are relatively new. So what are the builders doing to save the nation and guarantee integrity of buildings in Nigeria? Have you instituted or investigated or given evidence on the disaster that was? Have you instituted a panel of investigators to investigate or give evidence in public on the disaster at the coroner's inquest or any other fora? Please, if you have, address the press on this on your position, it is important to publicize it so that you can build trust amongst the public that you are to serve. The other one that I want to refer to is the Banana Island one. The effect of this is that all surrounding buildings have to be pulled down, like the one in Gerard Road. This is an enormous waste of resources, time, energy, investment, and everything. But the builders are in a position to solve these problems. And I particularly like one of the things I read at the time of the Gerard Road incident happened, where some professionals brought out their letters saying, we disagreed with this, we disagreed with that, but the owner or the contractor, whoever, moved on. To that extent, the builders or all those professionals have done their duty. Their duty to the nation, their duty to the industry, their duty to the institute, their duty to the council. They have done what they are supposed to do. Because at that point, if your advice is rejected, you also eject yourself from the project because of the consequences of the damages that could follow. I also want to bring to your attention, in every building project, whether this word is written in your contract or not, there is what we call implied terms. You are liable as a builder working on a site if there is a problem. Implied terms will be implied by law. If the matter is taken to court, these are the standards by which the lawyers will judge your work. They are called implied terms. Things that by your professional training, you have guaranteed that the materials used here are of good quality, that this building will be standard and be sustainable. A building that you have built and you expect without any disaster to last for maybe 20 years, in 6 months is down. You are guilty under the doctrine of implied terms, and the court will hold you guilty. So you have a duty to make sure that inferior materials are not brought to your site. You have a duty to make sure that those who are manufacturing these things don't manufacture inferior things and pump it into your own economy, because your members will be the victim who will purchase for money on behalf of their clients and deploy these things in their construction. So going further on the implied terms, you basically under the implied terms, you are guaranteeing that the materials used in the work and the completed work themselves shall be reasonably fit for the purpose for which they are required. 2, that the materials used will be of good quality. You are not a manufacturer, but implied terms is making you guarantee that it will be of good quality, because we expect you have enough knowledge to know that the material is substandard. 3, that the work will be carried out in a good and workmanlike manner. In this situation, you know, you as a builder, you are basically a manager. Bringing together other professionals is something that you have been given as a responsibility. So if you now decide to go and engage a quack architect or a quack civil engineer, under implied terms, you as a builder, you are liable for that. He will take his own professional problems, but you as a builder, you are liable for his incompetence. So the act expects you to pick only competent people who are in the industry to work with you at any site. So you have a duty to check and see. Let them give you a resume. Let them give you their work profile, so that you look at all these things before you allow them join you in working at any site. I have concentrated on the role of the builders more because I am here addressing builders. The other human element involved in the building project are the agencies of government, manned by human beings like builders. The Institute of, the Institute of Building and or the Council of Registered Builders have a duty as a pressure group to ensure that only registered builders occupy certain offices in the relevant government agencies to exercise supervisory role over building works. The synergy will be easy because you as a builder, you are expected to know the building code. The person coming to supervise you is supposed to know the building code. So if a builder is coming to site to inspect the job of a builder, he knows exactly what is expected of him. So that will make it easy. But when a carpenter is supervising a mechanic, it will be a serious problem. And you know, government has the power to appoint anybody to any office. And once the person is appointed, he carries the appellation, he carries the name. But you, as a builder at a site or at the council, you have a duty to tell government, please, this area should be occupied by builders and builders alone. Do not appoint anybody outside of this area. And that will pay the association very well. These officials of government, if they are builders, know what the building code entails and are knowledgeable on the requirements of survey plans, soil tests, environmental impact assessment, building plans, suitable buildings for particular areas like a builder in practice to complement each other. The competent builder desires to avoid, if the competent builder desires to avoid harassment unnecessarily by government officials, he must ensure competent professionals are engaged. He needs enough experience to identify competent professionals. The synergy is expected between the government officials and the builder in any construction work for the benefit of their immediate employer and the society at large. It must be built on honesty, competence, and professionalism. National Building Code provides just necessary guide, specification for materials and quality control to ensure materials meet minimum standard. Code therefore provides minimum standard of safeguard. If you now look at what we have been saying about going into areas of responsibilities, the act itself, the Building Act, Builders Registration Act, dedicated sections 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15 to registration of members. And that is how important anybody you want to pick up as a member, that process, that's how important to government and to the law because of the liability that will arise in case of incompetence. So I want to say that there is another aspect of the law. We call it duty of care. This was long established in law. We call the principle Donohue and Stevenson. Donohue and Stevenson is, if you have a duty of care towards me by way of what you are doing, even if it's like this water we have here, I'm supposed to drink this water and have no problem. But if I have this water now and I have stomach upset, from there we are able to trace it that this water I have taken. That company owes me a duty of care to produce under the best condition ever, so that when I take this water, it serves me for the proper purpose. So that duty of care has now been brought into construction. It was never there before, but it's now been brought into construction. That is the principle we call Donohue and Stevenson. It's a case that is in ancient memory. So what has happened now when it was being brought? Like you all know, no lawyer does not know Lord Denning. Lord Denning was the first person that opened up the space. And in the case of Dalton versus Regis, the citation I've suffered. But what he said is important. The distinction between chattel and real property is quite unsustainable. If a manufacturer of an article is liable to a person injured by his negligence, so should a builder of a house be liable. This is how they brought it in. So that duty of care, that man that is producing that water has now been brought into builders. Before now, a builder would do it, they would say no problems. At a time in history, they would distinguish between a builder who is a contractor and a builder who is the owner of the land. Why they say the builder who is the owner of the land has no liability, the builder who is the contractor will have liability. Again, it's the same Lord Denny that says, no, 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 no. Because you own the land and you own the estate and you are building, you are selling to others, and there is a liability, you are not liable, it can no longer happen. If you own a land and you build on it, you are liable. If you are just a builder and you have built for someone, you are liable if there is a defect. So that is where the law is now. There is full liability on issue of defects in building. So Lord Dennis said further, he said there is no sense in maintaining a distinction. It would mean a contractor who builds a house on another man's land is liable for negligence in constructing it. But a speculative builder who buys land and himself builds houses on it for sale is just as negligent as, as a contractor is not liable. That cannot be right. Each must be under the same duty of care and to the same person. So whoever is injured by the building, the mere fact that you are the owner of the land and owner of the building and you are the builder does not mean you have a lesser liability than just a contractor who has built for someone else. Then, to reinforce it, that this is now going on, Lord Wilberforce said in St. Anne's case, I am unable to understand why this principle or proposition should prevent recovery in a suitable case by a person who has subsequently acquired the house upon principle of Donoghue and Stevenson. The same rules should apply to all careless acts of a builder, all careless acts of builders, whether he happens to also to own the land or not. I agree generally with the conclusion of Lord Denning on this point. This was in 1978 by Lord Wilberforce. He went further to say, if there was one time a supposed rule that the doctrine of Donoghue and Stevenson did not apply to realty, there is no doubt under modern authority that a builder of a defective premises may be liable in negligence to the persons who thereby suffer injury. So I hold, therefore, that a builder is liable for negligence in constructing a house whereby a visitor is injured. Please, I want you to understand this. I have engaged you as a builder to help me build a house. You are liable to me. What I just read to you shows that any third party that is injured, you are also liable. That is why I started by tracing what you have to go through to be a member of this body, what the council and the institute must ensure that they follow. So right now, the state of the law is that you are liable not just to the owner, the employer, but you are also liable to visitors, to third parties, and that is very wide indeed. So it must be noted that the Dalton case is also worthy that officials alone cannot be liable for defects in construction. They might be negligent in passing poor work, but for the actual construction, the builder is liable for the defect due to negligence. If a local authority is liable at all, the builder is also liable. The effect of the above is that for a builder of a house or building has enormous duty or responsibility to owner, and even the tenants of the property may have a claim in negligence for damages to remedy the loss. Here we are talking about government officials. They come in, they approve your building plan, they approve the foundation, they approve that, they approve that. If the government official is liable at all, it's already a prima facie case that you, the builder, you'll be liable, because we expect you to know. This case was a case in which 4 feet depth was approved for a foundation. The government official went there and they agreed that they have done the right thing, when indeed they did 3 feet depth for the foundation, and there was a collapse. The official is liable for negligence. But the builder himself is also liable because he has a plan with him. He has gone through everything. He has seen his own competent staff are with him. They are the one doing the actual building before covering the foundation up. So the mere fact that a government official is negligent for your building, that means you are already liable, because that is prima facie evidence that you are liable as a builder. So a higher standard is expected of a builder than just a government official. So in Nigeria, Honorable Justice Oduyemi has this to say in the case of International Messengers Limited versus Nwachukwu. Citation is there. As to personal injury, the law is that one who is guilty of negligence to another must put up with his idiosyncrasies of the victim that increases the likelihood of or the extent of damages. We have seen this. There's another principle in law we call the eggshell rule. Is what this judge is trying to say here. If today you have built for somebody and the person says, and there is a problem, and the person decides to say that because of what happened, I had mental fatigue, I had this, I had that, to raise your liability, they say you are responsible for everything. Because if it has not happened, he will not have the opportunity to come and tell you that because of the collapsed building or because of the defect, he had mental fatigue. That's what this. I'm trying to let you know the extent of your liability and why membership admission is a key prerequisite for understanding these liabilities. Justice Oduyemi of the Court of Appeal went further. The law is that once the kind of damage, viz. Physical injury to a person or property would have been foreseen in a general way, the defendant is liable for the full extent of the harm, even though that extent was unforeseeable. Again, the liability. I'm on liability because I have to stress that to you. So if you build a house, you have built this house, and for one strange reason, it has collapsed. The collateral damage you will have on other houses, whether you anticipate it or not, you'll be liable for it. That is how important you are to Nigeria. So the effect of the above is that a builder of a house or a building has enormous duty and responsibilities to owners, and even the tenant of the property may have a claim in negligence. Inference to the code shows professional competence and being a core of quality control. Component materials, especially fine quartz aggregate, often fail to conform with recognized standard, thereby affecting the quality or durability and necessitating early building repairs, expenditure, and sadly, it also leads to building collapse and loss of investment. The builder had the on-site duty to ensure good materials, proper mixture or blend of materials to achieve before being used on the construction. Running to my conclusion, distinguished builders, if all the steps and measures introduced by the code, laws, rules, and regulations and government agencies are followed in building construction in Nigeria, without compromise, the product, the building, will bring about safe and sustainable building production management in Nigeria. So I charge you, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished builders, to know the very important position you occupy in Nigeria's development and growth, and act your role. If you fail, it will not be because the law is weak or lack of authority to ensure compliance, but that you have compromised on the very responsibility entrusted to your care. Respectfully, may that not be your lot. Competence, integrity, and professionalism is what is required of you to make it work, and you are the only ones to deliver to Nigeria a regime of safe, sustainable building production management of our dream. We must appreciate and pay glowing tributes to the role of this association and the members of the council have played and are playing in Nigeria, in spite of the couple of collapsed buildings, considering the very impressive development in the building industry since 1960, against a background of uncontrolled, unregulated market for materials and its manufacturers. I can only urge you to do more and remain resolute to uphold the mandate freely donated to you by law and sanitize your ranks where some members may go overboard, and effectively eliminate quacks. Safe, sustainable building production management is already here with us, as practiced by you, gentlemen, and we thank you for your services to the nation. I thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Please, let's give him a very big round of applause as he goes back to his seat. That has been very enlightening and educative. Thank you very much, sir. We do appreciate the knowledge shared. Before we proceed, we would like to also acknowledge some of our dignitaries that worked in while the speech was going on. And we have in our midst the Honorable Commissioner for Minister of Housing, Honorable Moruf Akinderu Fatai. Please, a round of applause for him. Welcome, sir. We have the GM, Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, Town Planner Kende Oshinaike. He also came in while the speech was going on. In our midst also, we had the past HGS builder Adelaja Adekombi, FNIOB, came in as the speech was going on. Welcome, sir. We have, please, a round of applause for the 81st Division Band Nigeria Army. They've been wonderful. They came early and started. We're not clapping for them. Hey. They do more than just playing the band. You know that they're the one that keep the nation safe. We're not in war, but they've been helping us. And God bless the Nigerian Army in Jesus' name. One of our sponsors for today is Cam's Holding. They've been wonderful, and we are delighted to have them here. Also, we have from the Lagos State Fire Service, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Ogunfile Olusoji and his team. Welcome, sir. We are delighted to have you here.
We move to have a brief musical interlude from the Nigerian Army, after which would have the recognition of the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Fiscal Planning, person of Builder Dr. Olumide Olayinka. So let's just have a little bit of music interlude from the 81 Div Band. Thereafter, we'll have the recognition of the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you. 81D band, you are doing very well. Thank you for the wonderful melody you've given us, the band from Nigerian Army 81D. Now we'll proceed with the program by honoring some of our participants who are here present.
The first honors we would like to give is to Barrister Oladipo Okwesheyi, who has just given us a wonderful and beautiful speak to open this ceremony. And assisting in doing that, we invite Builder Honorable Bimbo Kolade, the first Vice President of NIOB, to present this award to him. Please, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, the MCs. They are actually working in the spirit. I've actually said at a point in time, if I had an opportunity to talk, I'm going to appreciate your keynote address. Very wonderful one, sir. He came prepared, not just as a lawyer, a printed, well-prepared paper, who I believe that it will become a point of reference even in our schools, on sustainable building projects. Honestly, it's very, very insightful. Can we appreciate it? Very, very insightful. And I want to believe that I know that Cobon registrar will soon be here. Maybe flight problem for him also. Honestly, you have really opened our eyes to some of the things that we have been sitting down, still waiting for government to do. We cannot but appreciate you. Please, this flag of appreciation, you want much more than this. I wish we could, and which I'm going to do it anyway, and promise on behalf of the president. Honestly, your next building project, I can assure you that NIOB will supervise that for you free of charge. Because we too, we are coming to ask for pro bono service in pursuing some of the things that you have raised. And in this, on behalf of the Lagos State Chapter, I'm presenting this appreciation plaque, presented to Oladipo A. Okwesheyi, OFR, a senior advocate of Nigeria, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Administrator UK, and a fellow of Nigeria Institute of Management, a fellow of the Chartered Taxation Institute, if I'm correct. The principal counsel of Dipo Okwesheyi and Co. And because I'm a Yoruba man, Chief SLA Akintola went to present a plaque like this, and he said, Akpata eleyi nike, Okwesheyi eleyi too, as a K in it. Thank you very much, sir.
Give them a round of applause. Please, can we invite other dignitaries to join in just a photograph, please? The President, Nigerian Institute of Building, the Honorable Commissioner, Housing, and your counterparts in the works. The Special Advisor GIS, so please. The representative of Tumba Gwenga Daniels, the PS, Fiscal Planning. QS Akeushola, please join them. GM Laspra, Oshinoike, Kenny, please join them, sir. Yes. Representative of Dangote, are you here? Please join them. Professor Mrs. Kole Osho, are you here, please? Please join them. GM LSDPC premises. NIOB, Lagos State Chapter Chairman, the host chairman, please join them. Photographers, please do your work. Thank you. Builder Lucky Iseneme, you are needed here, please. In the same vein, we want to appreciate one of our own, in person of Builder Dr. Olumide Olayinka, Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Fiscal Planning. We have an award to present to him, to be presented by the National President of Nigerian Institute of Building, in person of Builder Ewa. Please give them a round of applause. Before the presentation of award, we want to invite one of our own, in person of Dr. Aladeloba Emmanuel, to read an abridged profile of the awardee. Please give him a round of applause as he steps up.
Thank you very much. You know, the beauty of things like this is that the day you begin to succeed, you can no longer hide. There are two ways, yes, there are two ways in which a man can be popular. I don't want to talk about the other one. But if you have been impacting on the life of people, you will be fished out. And that is why I say, if you are loaded, you will be needed. Honorable Commissioner, you cause this so people will know about you, whether you like it or not. Because you can't lit a lamp and put it under the table. He has his pedigree. It's been coming a long way. I'm not going to bore you, because if you have to talk about him, we'll spend more time here. And I'm not going to give you everything about him, so that he will still have something to keep for himself. You know, when a man is destined to succeed, it will be a reproach for him to fail. And let that set the premise on which I'm going to talk about him. He has done a lot of iconic things that it's not possible for you to take your face away from. Like a friend of mine would describe the buildings in Ikoyi. A lot of us call Ikoyi, 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 Ikoyi. The actual meaning of that is Ikoyi, buildings where you look up and you begin to feel dizziness. The same thing happens when a man does so well, within and without. And so I'm going to just say a thing, give you a snippet about him. The other time, Chief Oladipo, when he was presenting his paper, right there as an academics, I'm sure Professor Kole Osho will agree with me, that that paper is a subject of research. And when he was presenting it, I put on my research cap, and I was wondering, where did he get that from? He must have researched so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about this man standing here. And let me tell you, like Oliver Wendell said, I hope I am safe, I have lawyers here, Chief Oladipo is a son. Oliver Wendell said, he said, the prophecy of what the court considers as facts, as against any presumption, is the law. I hope I'm right. Fine, I'm also a son. And so today we are going to agree, by the time I read out one or two things about him, that indeed is deserved of what we are doing today. Is the very first builder to occupy the position of the Commissioner for Physical Planning in Lagos State. And I'm drawing my strength from Chief Ladiko's paper. You may not remember, but in your paper, sir, you said that a builder is supposed to occupy positions, the rightful positions in the built physical environment, especially in those ministries. And so I can't but acknowledge the fact that the governor has picked the very right round peg in round hole. If you want to clap, you can clap. Commissioner, sir, I'm not aware they've started paying for applause. So we can't be economical with that. Thank you very much. And so, he attended University of Ife, Great Ife. Not OAU, he went to Ife, the real Ife. I hope I'm saying it well. But there's no way you can compare that to the great Akokites. Great Akokites. Of course, Professor Mrs. Collie Osho is from University of Lagos. I recognize you. She was my teacher. Don't mind her face, though. She looks so young, but she was my teacher at Unilag. Yes, he attended University of Ife. He studied building. But let me tell you, he had his first stint in the cradle of higher institution in Nigeria. Who can remind me of that? Yaba College of Technology. Yaba, oh. Yes, he studied architecture there. But I think he was smart enough to know that the way architecture is going in Nigeria, artificial intelligence might put it out of circulation. And so he went into building when he got to Ife. He had that preparation in Yaba Tech. Of course, you know, for those of us that attended Yaba Tech first, we are all over the places. So I can call him Yaba O. And while in Yaba, I'm emphasizing that, while in Yaba, this man standing here was the best student in architecture. Now, he's the one that designed and built the iconic motorways built at Oregon. He designed and built that. Are we still together? Or I'm boring you? I respond to the audience. If I'm boring you, I will cut it off and will present the plaque. You still want to know more about him? And you left out. All right? He designed the mobile house. Can you imagine? Why are you designing, building? Because let me tell you, whatever you know how to do, do it well. Because your work will speak for you. Whether you are there or not, wherever you are not, your work will get there and people will say, this so-so person had passed through here. He designed that mobile house that you have there. And even the Lekki Free Trade Zone. And the same place he had passed through. There was a contractor who was doing so well. And he was now to part ways with that organization. And they gave him the last work to do. Unknown to him, that last work was meant to be his parting gift. Unfortunately, he didn't do that well. But that was not his case. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, he was a project manager at NMPC. What was happening to Fuel, sir? Don't worry, Fuel will come down. Whether they like it or not, it will come down. Yes or no, sir? It will come. The commissioner said yes. I believe him. He worked at Pan-African University as a lecturer. Sometimes you throw some missiles and you will now be informed. He said as the director of projects and development. He was also at Intercontinental Properties. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, indeed it's a big honor for me and a big privilege at that to present this iconic man gentle giant, but full of great accomplishments. And no other person than builder Dr. Olumide. Let's put our hands together for him. My president, it's over to you to do the presentation.
My dear brother, you have done all what I would have been able to do. But you've assisted me a lot because I couldn't have known so much about him. I thank you very much. I remember when, about 3 weeks ago, when we went with a past president in Abi, Bilda Ubodo, to see the Minister of Housing and Urban Development. One of the things we also said was that this government did a good thing by picking a round peg into a round hole. That is picking an architect to be the Minister of Housing and Urban. And here we are, a builder being in that ministry. Congratulations. You are our own. And with all the accolades, with all the things said about you, you must be a great man. On behalf of Nigerian Institute of Building, builder
and recognizing the two commissioners that are here, Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development and the Commissioner for Housing, permanent secretaries, both the one that is serving and the one that has just recently retired, general managers of government agencies here present, the president of the institute, the chairman of the chapter, past presidents, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a builder, but I want to associate myself with you. I think I was here last year, and every time you invite me, I assure you that I definitely will be here. So let me first, you said it's a goodwill message. So the first goodwill will be that one good turn deserves another. So the first thing that I would like to say is to say thank you very much for honoring the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development. Please give him a round of applause. And everybody that has been so honored here today, including the guest speaker. So it will be wrong for us in the built environment not to be here today, because the builders are part and parcel of the built environment. So we join you in the fight against building collapses in Nigeria, because we know that with Builder Awobodu and a couple of other people, they have been at the forefront of this. Please give him a round of applause. And I like the fact that you are always very organized. You know, I was very impressed with the military band, you know, their music. You know, I see that you have another DJ on the stand. You know, we're hoping to listen to the songs or the music that will be played by the DJ. We like the fact that we're all here very happy, bright this morning. I want to congratulate you for this program. Where is the chairman of the chapter? I saw him earlier. Yes, I want to congratulate you. You said no. So I want to congratulate you on behalf of myself, my wife, my daughter, my family, and also on behalf of the governor of Lagos State, you know, on behalf of the commissioners seated here, and everybody who wishes you well as an institute. I want to say a very big thank you for inviting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We would like to call on Builder Dr. Olumide Olayinka, the Honorable Commissioner for Ministry of Physical Planning, to give us his goodwill message as well. Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's give him a round of applause as he stands to do this honor.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, I intend that it will be very brief, but it may run slightly over. First, I'd like to thank the NIOB for this invitation and the honor done on me. And I hope that at the end of this deliberation, the communique will be passed down to us, because I really looking forward to that and to try and incorporate in our policies. So please, do me that honor. Let's have the communique, please. Well, I think it was 1986, the first vice president. I just remember the way he used to run for Oliveto's class, structural analysis. So I'm just seeing it today after that time. It's quite some time. Thank you very much. I think the paper delivered by the guest speaker today, I will want to recommend it for those of us that are in the academics here. It should go in for the professional practice and code of conduct for the final year students of building. It's a very rich paper, well-researched paper. I think we should note it like that. Okay. I think it was in 1990 when that act was passed. I was in Kappa and Dabato then, and Kappa was invited, so I was given the honor of representing the company, and we went to the assembly then. So there's always been that challenge, you know. The act setting up a building as a profession is very clear and simple, but it has to face a very peculiar challenge in the sense that outside there, the word builder is loosely and generally used. A lot of people go into that. Even our colleagues, architects, after some few years of no job, they move out and call themselves builders. The same thing goes with engineers. They are not builders. Go and check the course outline for the two courses. There is quite different. Building production, it's a unique methodology on its own. It's quite different. It's not run any other courses except building. Clear. It's not run. It's different from, so people should get that distinction. The civil engineer part in building, which is basically structure, is the production of structural drawing based on analysis. So it's completely different from building. It's different. We do get that. I stand to be challenged, anybody, anywhere, come and face me. We'll go into the details. It's completely different, and it should not be mixed up. Now, I think that goes for the mix-up on who is a builder. In fact, in today's keynote speaker's address, if you go through, you see the clear definition and understanding of exactly who is a builder. So, but like I said, it's a big challenge because then at the assembly, they want to be, NLB then was trying to be quite precise in terms of who to practice. There were a lot of challenge. Even sometimes lawyers go out and call themselves builder under the guise of a developer now. So everybody is a builder, you know. But, and that brings us to the responsibility. The act setting up building is very clear to control and regulate. Now, if you take a clue from our sisters in entertainment industries, you have the Copyright Council for them. Now, what happens? You go to, sometimes we hear in Alaba, the artists will gather themselves and go to the market to start challenging those pirating their artworks. And they get them and hand over them to the police. They cannot prosecute. That's for the council, Copyright Council. But they have the right to protect that their discipline. The same thing with building. You have the right to protect that your profession. Now, on the side of the government, I learned that, was it last year, similar conference like this, the commissioner got annoyed with the way it was presented. You cannot enforce. That is clear. It is only the government institutions that can enforce that. But by the act setting up to regulate and control, I have yet to see what NLB has done in terms of controlling. I am yet to see. I think you have a right to challenge people that are not builders and present them to the authorities to prosecute. On our side as government, as the Lagos State government, of course, we know that it's very, very responsive. It's a government that listens to the people and incorporates, engage stakeholders in all their policies and formulations. Right now in the ministry, we are working on, there's a collaboration going on between the ministry and the professional bodies because we want to come up with a program called CAP, whereby professionals will also be encouraged to collaborate with us in terms of building production control, stage certification, so that we can minimize or turn to zero the imminence of this building collapse. Because quite frankly, the government do not have the capacity to oversee the whole development in the state. But we know with your cooperation, so in some few weeks to come, it will be rolled out, the detail of it will be rolled out, and we'll start the pilot scheme. I think it's from Ikeja. We'll start from Ikeja. So the collaboration is to get professionals coming in group and in zones and in category. Those that will be in charge of building up to certain floors, to 5 to 7 and things like that, so that they can also assist in the process of monitoring building production. Well, another key problem that is emanating maybe it's not giving prominence in this year's conference, is the lack of or acute shortage of artisans. And it's truly, truly worrisome. You can be a very good engineer or builder. Your product is still subject to the quality and caliber of the artisans. And most of these, some of the investigations that I've been involved in terms of overviewing reports of building collapse could actually be traced to artisans' error. There are a lot of things we take for granted. If you start today as a building contractor, maybe 2, 3, 4 years after graduation, you'll be more interested in everything. But the higher you go, the lower will be the, in terms of overseeing little details. You want to assume that the carpenter that is doing the formwork is okay. You know? Now, if it's an internal one, continuous or simply supported, it might be okay. But once it gets to cantilever, it becomes a special thing that we need to put eye on. And if you don't have good carpenters to do that, it's a challenge. The same thing with reinforcement laying. You know, reinforcement in construction works entirely on the precise design level. You have the cover and the bottom reinforcement or whatever top reinforcement. So if that little dimension is missed, it might lead to error. So there is a need also, as we are developing ourselves, let us not overlook the artisan side. That is even on the structural part. On the finishing part, is total chaotic. None. If not for our brothers from Togo, Cotonou, and thereabout, virtually no Nigerians doing that work. No Nigerian. I'm involved in a technical school that we're setting up, and there's a body from UK. They have a technical institute where they teach vocational courses. They place adverts, even with money, that they'll be given money. Nobody applied to be trained as carpenters, iron bender. Nobody applied. They prefer to do run ride Okada or POS and stuff like that. You know, so it's something that we need to look into, or else we'll be in very, very serious problem. You cannot talk of building production without these artisans. We cannot. Now there is the implied duty on builder. I think the barrister did talk about that. And there is a celebrated case in, I mean, there's no way you would do building without going through that case, where a builder was given a drawing to build, and it's a story building, and there was no staircase. And the builder finished the drawing without the staircase, and he said, "This is the key, I've finished." So the owner got there. "How will I get up?" And the man said, "See the drawing, there's no staircase there." And they went to court, and it was, judgment was granted that it's supposed to be implied as a professional, supposed to know. How can you have a story building and you say the drawing does not show it, and because of that, you are not putting it? Because you are a professional, and it is assumed that you should do the right thing as a professional. And that again leads to the regular challenge that we have most building contractors. Most of the drawings are sometimes very defective, mostly. And there are, for example, when I was at Kappa, I was head of a unit called Systems and Method. Kappa and Abato will never go take consultant drawing and just move to site like that. Never. Everything will be reviewed in-house. Everything will be reviewed there. And I remember when I was doing Lagoon Hospital in Ikeja, I did the design of that place. Brick House was the contractor, and I gave them the drawing, and there are beams of 150. And he said he has never done a structure with 150 section. So he had to engage another consultant to review the whole drawing. So most of our builders here, they just carry drawing and move to site. It's wrong. We all did structures at school, and you have the competency to peruse that design. The same thing with architecture. A lot of details error. You have a door abutting a column, and you have an architect saying 100 mm space. How can you have a block of 100 mm after column? It's impossible. It's impossible. And if you go ahead like that, 2 years after, you start seeing cracks there. There are some contractors who have established their own standard, even though the architect put 100 there. But to save your name, do it in concrete. It will cost you more, but you are investing in the name of that your company. That you finish a building and it's standing the test of time. No crack, no anything. Forget what is done. Now, even coming to foundation, we all know what is called a step foundation. And in most cases, when you talk of a soil test, it's only 2 suspended floors. 1-story building, no soil test. So you move to the side, you assume that everything is okay. But we know the elementary thing. We know the level to stop when you're excavating. If you have not reached the farm soil, you cannot stop. But you want to say the section is 700 mm deep, and you know it's not 700 mm. Of course, it's going to cost you money. So if you can lay a claim through your QS to claim your money back, if not, it does not make sense to go ahead. It's either you stop that work and say, I cannot do because this is not possible, or you use your money and consider that money as a PR. After all, MTN, they do advert. Coca-Cola, they do advert. Consider that money as your own advert because you are protecting the name of your company. These are little things contributing to all this building collapse that we are having here and there. But the onus is on us. The very, very first thing is protecting your name. Once that is done, all this collapse building will. I've interacted with the registrar of Cobon, and so far, the buildings collapse we've been having, I'm not sure it's been traced to any member of NIOB. No. It is people going out calling themselves contractors and builders. None. Because, like the speaker did mention in his speech, there are training you go through before you are certified as a builder. I think on that note, so that I don't bore you too much, I thank you. This is my keynote address. And to summarize it again, I'm very, very, very particular about the communique at the end of the result. And I'm telling you, like what they've said, the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development that you have today is a change one. It's a change one. Any letter written in must be responded to. Any request calling for our attention, I can assure you that within maximum 3 days, you will see response. So the door of the government is open. We are all in together to ensure that we give our environment a befitting safe status. You are free to come into my office if you want to interact or anything. So on this note, I thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause. The Ministry of Physical Planning, it's an open door for each and every one of us.
So without wasting further time, we are going to call upon his counterpart in the Ministry of Housing, in person of Honorable Moruf Akindero Fatai, Honorable Commissioner for Housing, to also give us a very brief remark. Thank you.
Honorable Commissioner, PS here present, Special Advisor here present, my former PS, the distinguished lecturer, council members, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is important that I be present here today, even though I got this notice yesterday. And I must commend Budao Aobodu for this. He practically came to my office to drag me here, and I'm happy to be here. The most important thing is what we are doing here, and I'm happy that I gave advice a while back that you as an important stakeholders in build sector must be ready to play the game, the politics. Today, I see that there is a positive trend towards that, because everything we do, we are all political. We can continue to say builders is this, builders is that in these four walls. But we must be practical. We must go out there, compete with other professions, and try to see, for the people in government to see that the kind of role you play, which is very critical. Today, Lagos State government is in support of this institute, and we are doing everything possible to make sure that the collaboration continues. Ministry of Housing is collaborating with this institute, if I'm correct, and we are also engaged in training of artisans. Trying to, we have scheduled graduation to the next 2 weeks, because we have just finished a 6-week program in training of artisan itself, trying to upgrade their knowledge in the profession. Our aim is to go further, because we are hoping that some of those people that were trained will also be used to train others. It is important that we move away from importing artisans to come and do our work. We in the Ministry of Housing, we have done a lot of work, and we know the kind of challenges our contractors are facing in getting this artisan to work. It delays the work a lot, and I think we are making progress. It will be gradual. A lot of people will have to come back, especially the situation in the country now. People are now seeing that it is important that they have a profession, and we must continue to make the noise out there, try to convince our young ones to come into this. In the Ministry of Housing also, seated here, we have a lot of our professionals there. We do not play with we respect their inputs, and as we speak, the person in charge of ABS in Ministry of Housing is a builder, and we are proud of what he has contributed. So on this note, I want to congratulate NIOB, and we also need to thank you. We came to Surulere before the campaign, and we pleaded that you please support our governor, support our president, and you gave your words. I want to use this opportunity to thank you. And we pray that we'll be able, I want to say pray and assure that we'll be able, by the grace of God, meet up with all those promises. We'll stand by this institute, and we also to Lagosians and Nigerians. It may be tough, and it's going to be tough, but I can assure you that the president of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will deliver. And I can also assure you that Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu will take Lagos to greater height. Thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause for him. We would like to quickly acknowledge the presence of Dr. Mrs. Oyeyemi Ayola, Special Advisor to the Governor on internal audits. You're welcome. I really appreciate you taking time to be here with us. We would like to call upon Mrs. Fumi Sani, National Sales Director, Dangote Cement PLC, for 1 minute to give us their goodwill message. Then after which we'll be calling Mr. Olarinwaju Busiri, the business manager for Cam Holdings, for 1 minute as well to give us their welcome address. And after that, we'll be having our special guest, Mr. Honorable John Obafemi, representing His Excellency Senator Benga Daniel, and chairman of the occasion, to give his goodwill message and declare the exhibition stands open. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to start by congratulating the National Builders Association for this successful 32nd conference. We are proud to be associated with you. And I would like to disagree with one of the speakers who said, "Oh, I am not a builder." everybody is a builder. Either you are building a home in concrete, a bridge, or a home. I mean, your family. So on this note, I would like to say I am a builder. Are you a builder? Is everyone here a builder? So we are all builders. The menace of collapsed building is high because a lot of us have failed from the foundation, and I will explain. When you are building a home and cheating is allowed, cutting corner is allowed, cheating the next person is allowed, then that will be passed into whatever the children will be doing in future. God knows what they are going to become. Today we have builders, we have architects, we have engineers. It's from home that the fault comes from. If you are building a home where cheating, cutting corners is not permitted, of course when they go out there in anything they do, they will not cut corners. Because when you see a building collapse, a collapsed building, find out what has happened. Somebody has cheated. Because why? They want to make more margins. They want to make more profits. Where they're supposed to use 10 mm, they are using 5 mm. Where they are supposed to use Dangote cement, they are using something else. Right. Sorry? When you are supposed to use Dangote cement, don't use anything else. And then you will not find a collapsed building. Because why? Dangote cement is made with the best of products. And in order to support you, we ensure that every single bag that comes out of our plant has gone through the test of quality and its quality. And then we can beat our chests to say that if you use it in right quantity as prescribed by the builder, no, not builder now, by who? Cultural engineer, then structural engineer, then you will never have an issue. So on this note, I would like to say, we're happy to be associated with you. I represent Dangote. What we do is best quality cement, and we have it in different products. If you are doing your concrete form, we have Blockmaster. If you want to do plastering, we have what we call Falcon. Falcon is so smooth. When you use it to plaster your house, you may not need paint, honestly. And you can try that in case you don't know. And then we have 3X. 3X, of course, sets very fast, and it gives you the best outcome when you use any of our products to do your building. And then it's not adverts. I'm just telling you that we want to be part of ensuring that we don't have collapsed building again in Nigeria. And I'm just telling you, if you have any need for cement, please go for Dangote cement that assures you of that quality. Quality, quality, and quality. My name is Fumisani. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. We would now like to call on Mr. Olariwaju Busuri, Business Manager, Scam Holding, for your 1-minute goodwill speech.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please, I would like to stand on the existing protocol, but I will not go ahead without special greeting to the Honorable Commissioners here seated and the National President of the Association, as well as the Lagos State Chapter President. For us in CAM Holdings, it's a group of companies that we started by Dr. Kamaruddin Yusuf in 1997. So we've come all the way, and here today, we stand out among steel manufacturers in Nigeria. We are proud to say our steel, or our company, is the only company in Nigeria today that produces real steel. Because there's a unique technology that we use, which is DC arc furnace. Every other company in Nigeria, or in Africa, still uses the old induction furnace that has been scrapped out in so many other countries. Also, In terms of certification, aside ISO certification, we are among the 2 companies in Nigeria today that has been certified by UK Cares, B500B. So we stand out that we have a premium product for you as builders. We have been at your AGM in the past, and we have been partnering with you, and we reassure you, I'm speaking on behalf of the chairman and the executive members of CAM Steel and CAM Holding, that we will be there to support you in all your structural building. We've heard about the collapses everywhere. We know the major factor is in our sector. And that's why we are coming out. A lot of people say CAM is not that popular in the market. But what we are doing is to go bottom up. You might not see most of our product with the distributors, because that's where the problem is coming from. And that's where we go directly to the end users, where you can actually test and see that this is actually the product you need to use. We've been to several companies, and they say, oh, your name is, okay. See, take the sample test. When you test, you can call us back. And it has worked for us in several. So, on behalf of the executive management of CAM Holdings, I want to appreciate the executives of Lagos State chapter of this association that has put this, of the institute that has put this together. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your support always. And last but not the least, we would like to actually acknowledge all the association of all our artisans, from the bricklayers to the welders to the plumbers, the electrical. We say a big thank you and we acknowledge your presence with us today. And we cannot stop here. We would like to actually acknowledge all the past chairmen of Lagos State Nigerian Institute of Building. Please, a round of applause for every one of them. It's easy for us to talk about the present, but we cannot go without the past. So we thank you to every one of them, to our fellows and our elders. We thank you for the guidance, for how far you've pushed us, and we acknowledge you and we say a big thank you for honoring us today, being here with us. We also like to thank the Association of Real Estate Developers of Lagos State. Thank you for honoring our invitation and being here. But last but not the least, we would like to call upon Honorable John Obafemi, who is our guest speaker for today. The chairman for today, and is representing His Excellency Senator Gbenga Daniel. Please, you're welcome, sir.
The President, Nigerian Institute of Builders, the honorable commissioners here present today, the permanent secretaries, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. And of course, the chairman of the Lagos chapter, Nigerian Institute of Building. And I want to especially recognize my brother, Builder Kunle Awobodu. His Excellency has sent me here to come and represent him. And he would have been here by himself. He would have loved to be here, especially when this would have been his first official outing since he was honored with the fellowship of the Nigerian Institute of Building. He has sent me to please express his apologies because of the pressures in the National Assembly. I'm speaking on behalf of His Excellency, the Senator, Otumba Engineer Gbenga Daniel, who happened to be a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and also a honorary fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Building. It was exactly this time yesterday, he called me and said I should come and represent him here. Like I said, he intended and would have loved to be here personally, but for unavoidable reasons, he cannot be here. I therefore humbly convey his apologies and plead for your understanding for his absence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very briefly, because of time, my duty here this afternoon as instructed by His Excellency Otoba Daniel, is to appreciate your institute for coming up with this theme, Safe and Sustainable Building Production Management in Nigeria. He said this theme is coming up at the very right time in the repositioning of our country, Nigeria, under the leadership of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's so apt because this is the time the president is trying to rejig our political and socio-economic policies to reposition our country, Nigeria. As you will agree with me, and I want to go along with the Commissioner for Planning in Lagos State, what has exactly led to what we're experiencing now in the building industry, as far as the artisans are concerned, it has started a long time ago when the trade centers, I would say they have been abolished, but systematically they were abolished, so to say. If the government can please bring back the trade centers in all the states of the Federation, I think we'll begin to see changes. And that will be very, very important. As builders, your importance in nation building is quite strategic and must be factored into our national planning. Provision of affordable housing for the populace is a social sine qua non. We all know what Maslow's 5 hierarchy of needs are. Amongst them is the provision of shelter, which is very, very important. I can say it with assurance to all, I'm speaking on behalf of Otoba Daniel, that the government of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, understands very deeply the importance of shelter to human life and is determined to create an enabling environment to both the private and public sectors in the provision of affordable housing units for Nigerians. As professionals, your support will provide a sustainable pillar to attaining the desired results that the President has envisaged. I therefore humbly suggest that our institute should package a workable proposal that will further enhance the housing policy of the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Sustainability is building production. In building production, we no doubt enhance the living standard, protect our ecosystem, and give value to our God-given natural resources and preserve them for the upcoming generation. In concluding this message from Otoba Daniel, I have no doubt in my mind that our highly revered resource persons have done justice to this theme, especially the lawyer, sorry, your name? The son. He actually did a lot. He must have done a lot of research. I've been putting a lot of time, and I'm so happy that the commissioners have acknowledged this and have been recommended to our institutions. It's very, very good, very quality presentation. And I want to say congratulations and thank you, sir. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I will humbly invite you, as have been instructed by the organizers, that the exhibition will have to be declared open by His Excellency Otoba Daniel, whom I'm representing here this afternoon, to please go along with me to declare the exhibition open. Like I said earlier on, please, the NIOB should liaise with the National Assembly. I know there are quite a lot of legislation on ground that can help in our nation building, but still, with this kind of thing you are doing here this afternoon, when you do your packaging, the communique should also be sent to the National Assembly. And if you can do this through Otubabenga Daniel, who happens to be an engineer himself, although a mechanical engineer, not a structural engineer, neither is he a builder, but I am sure he will kind of give a helping hand to ensure that whatever you present here as a communique is well attended to at the National Assembly. Once again, I say thank you and God bless.
I guess we can do better with that applause. I had informed earlier that they don't pay for applause. Yes. Can we do it again? Thank you very much. Talking about declaring the exhibition open, Otumba Agbenga Daniel, of course, a distinguished citizen of this nation who had contributed a lot to development at the state and at the national level, ably represented by our own person that just presented his message now. We want to appreciate you, sir. I'm sure we have enough applause to parcel enough and send over to him in Abuja. Yes. You can trust me that Kunle Awobodu, we were in school together. Kunle Awobodu is a mobilizer anytime, any day. If he invites you to a program, you can be sure 99.9% you will be there because he will be on your neck. So when you were saying all the people that said he was on their neck, I'm not surprised. I can tell you a lot about him. And we want to appreciate you too, my past presidents. Yes. I was reliably told that you were a lecturer in Yaba College of Tech in those days. So I want to consider you as also part of my own teacher too. Yaba, a consistent. Can you imagine? Thank God Kunle has been able to fish all of you out. Please take note of him, collect his address. So we want to move to the exhibition ground. And I want to assure you, you will not be disappointed. If there's anything this gathering has done for me, I just met a sister of mine now who I've not seen for almost 30 years. He's a special advisor, Mrs. Ayola, Dr. Mrs. Ayola. We were children together in primary school. Rise up for recognition. You don't want people to know you. Yes. So we are going to go to the exhibition ground. But please let me ask of you just one favor. Let the dignitaries at the front lead while we follow. We have a lot of our exhibitors there. And okay, I guess we'll have a photograph first, group photograph first. Every one of us at the front, please, let's move to this place. Let's take photograph. Sorry? Yes, let's have photograph. Because we need to record this. It's not easy to bring out commissioners, special advisors, and all that. In fact, we don't want to go into how much it cost us to bring everybody here this morning. But I know one person in this place will offset the bill. Notwithstanding. If you are led by the Spirit, please do not deny us that opportunity. I will not, no. Okay, my first vice said he will not mention that good thing. Yes, photographers, get set. Are we ready, photographers? Okay. You want me to join the big men too?
Stand up, oh great builders, arise to do your job. Stand up, and build a nation with commitment for a well-used environment.
Yes, I guess we can move. Let's proceed to the exhibition ground. Let's take this way. The exhibitors, I hope your men and women are there waiting for us. You are going to answer a couple of questions. Let's go to the exhibition ground, please. My president. Yes, afternoon. How are you? Are you ready for us? We have the dignitaries here. Yes, Vita Paul. Vita Paul, one-stop shop for insulation. This is Vita Paul. Yes, roof covering. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah.
I'll be there to comfort you. Build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found.
Good morning. Good morning. We are Vitapol Nigeria Limited. We are a subsidiary of Vitafoam. While Vitafoam deal with flexible foam, we deal with rigid foam. And rigid foam is majorly insulation.